Hey fellow dungeon delvers, I switched from playing League of Legends a couple months ago to Dark and Darker, and I'm really enjoying it. Having not played very many first-person shooter games, Dark and Darker is a very different feel than the other fantasy games that I've played. I did the typical thing, and I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and I found a ton were helpful, but there was some things that I thought were missed, maybe because they're too obvious to some. I don't think I ever changed a single key binding in League of Legends, and it never felt like a problem. For Dark and Darker, I changed my weapon switching to mouse wheel up and mouse wheel down, and it made a world of difference. I also have extra buttons on my mouse, which are extremely helpful for Quick Slot 3 and Quick Slot 4 items. Don't forget to hit apply before you leave. You can also change skill 1 and skill 2 to have better feel if you want. Personally, Q and E work for me, but I can see how there would be an advantage, especially for a caster, to have a mouse button for those skills. It would allow you to strafe forward at the same time as activating a spell. This game's most important stat, without question, is speed. If you're chasing someone down, you need to be faster than them. If you're trying to get away from someone, you better be faster than them. So when you're taking gear, basically pick speed over everything. Agility makes you move faster at a ratio of 3 agility to 1% speed. So search those chests and bodies for agility items. The only stat that might be an exception to this is 15 strength for melee. Until you're at 15 strength, you have a negative percentage damage modifier, and it really hurts. I found, in the beginning, my only way to win combat was to get the first solid hit. So when you're starting out, avoid fights where you aren't going to give them a good bonk to open. No shame in running away, and you can always turn the table on someone later. Once I figured out speed was king, I started catching people and messing up by attacking too early. You have to be aware of your weapon's reach versus their ability to move away. Swinging and missing is really bad because most weapons have a longer miss delay before you can swing again. So hold your swing until you're good and sure it will connect. It's better to be a little closer than just out of reach. Building up a good supply of gold and items is a big part of making this game more fun. When you have better items, combat means more because you're going to lose something. In this respect, get in the habit of not forcing fights. In this example, if I had just charged the ranger, it might have gone horribly wrong. I have no idea if he has any traps down, and he sees me coming, so I'm going to be getting pew-pewed the whole time I advance. Now, just because you withdraw doesn't mean you have to give up. Know your maps. Once you have the doorways and pathways down, it's easy to jet around the map and try and find a better way to engage someone. This is kind of what you're looking for to start getting your first kills. Someone completely occupied with monsters or doesn't see you coming at all. Those first kills always tend to be the hardest, but once you have a couple down, and you start to feel a lot more comfortable. Let's analyze what I do right and wrong in this 2v2. Another team has seen my buddy Bard, and they're in a range off. They haven't seen me yet, so I'm hoping to draw them in and use my nice buddy Bard as live bait. I preload my Achilles Strike, which is a good idea to do on any abilities that you have that are on next hit. Remember, when you swing, draw a bow, or cast a spell, it's going to reduce your movement speed even further. Here's a good example, again, of swinging too early. If I just held my swing a little bit more and got a little closer, I would have caught him. While chasing after the fighter, I see that the cleric is holding the spell, and his movement speed is going to be reduced, allowing me to get on top of him. Next, this cleric pulls some matrix level dodging. I also think there's some kind of bug with jumping and ducking at the same time that reduces your hitbox quite a bit. He does a good job on shutting the door on me, but going back to the speed thing, I'm pretty sure that I'm faster than him, so the chase is on. What I don't do is stow my weapon, which is what you should always do when someone's got a big distance on you. Again, I don't stow my weapon, and eventually I throw one Franny Axe, which I probably could have thrown all three at some point during that chase. It ends in a very sloppy chop off, with me the victor. Yay, winning! The last thing I want to touch on is it's always a good thing to know if there's somewhere in the room you're in where you can cheese the mobs, because you never know when you're going to get into a pinch. And like that ranger from before, if you're stuck killing monsters when somebody gets on you, it's bad news. It's also really convenient to have a room that you can run back to that you know is basically empty. I've started making a series of shorts called Cheat the Room, giving you spots like this where you can kill all the monsters in the room in relative safety. And that's all I've got for this video. Thanks for watching. Cheers, and happy hunting.